Hi everyone, so this video is just to essentially introduce myself and explain who I am, what I do, and just give a little bit more insight into the person hosting these videos. I'm Sarah for starters, and I'm a physiotherapist and registered yoga teacher. I've been a physiotherapist now for nearly 6 years. So what you might not know is physio is made up of many disciplines. You've got cardiorespiratory physiotherapist, neurological physiotherapist, pediatric physiotherapist, geriatric physiotherapist, physiotherapists everywhere. But what I found is I took a liking most to musculoskeletal. Further took a liking to more was pain specialists. Essentially, when I was a junior physio, I had a really good musculoskeletal rotation where they essentially said to me as a junior physio that I will only be as good a physio as much as I understand pain. And that really stuck with me. And during my time in musculoskeletal practice, so for those of you that don't know, it's essentially probably more of what you think of classic physio, where you go to the physio and see about your knee pain or your back pain or after an injury. So during my time in that rotation, I spent a lot of time with pain specialists. Pain specialists essentially were quite heavy on, if you don't understand pain, then you're not going to be a very good physio. And they essentially wanted to nip any misunderstandings around pain in the bud so then I could do my best for my patients. During my time in that rotation, they really thinking about understandings around pain, my beliefs around pain, challenge my thoughts and ideas. Because essentially, if I haven't got the best idea, how am I meant to help someone that is in pain? So this went from understanding how you'd manage acute pain and chronic pain, but also some shocking truths. I was just honestly blown away and baffled how what appears to be such simple advice can go so far in helping someone that's been suffering with pain for such a long time. It gave me hope as a junior physio that although my diagnostic skills and my clinical skills had a lot to learn, building a good rapport with your patient, building trust with your patient and getting your patients to understand even the most basic advice could be enough to bring really good outcomes. And this is essentially the treatment path that was my go-to that I then fell into, that I really, really enjoyed providing that deep advice and education and helping patients have a greater outlook in terms of their holistic health and well-being, rather than getting really good at the manual therapy hands-on treatment, which is almost what the typical first thing you might think of when you go to a physio. But times are changing and healthcare is constantly evolving, and we're really trying to see more and more physios now, and any clinician really, providing that good modern understanding of what pain really is about. Sometimes all it can be is the patient comes in so afraid of movement and then leaving so much more confident in how they can manage their pain. If our patients know what their pain is, what their pain signal is telling them, how they can work with their pain and essentially reduce the threat of that pain, the pain signal comes down and then we start to see really good results. You could be the most experienced physio in the world, so smart, so knowledgeable. But if your patients don't trust what you're telling them and are encouraged to slowly get moving and know what's good for them and not trying to then fight their pain, then results aren't going to be the same. Equally, you can get physios that spend all the time hands-on treatment, create a way that patients become so dependent on that hands-on treatment and they never learn to self-manage. I've always taken the belief that I want my patients to feel so empowered after their sessions. I want them to walk out the door feeling so confident that they know how to manage their pain and how they're going to get out of it in the long run. The best thing is giving your patient that confidence that they will return to whatever it may be, playing with their children on the floor, completing their supermarket shop, not in any pain. And it's about creating that relationship and creating that pain management plan that is possible. If you take the right approach, it's nice and graded, slow conditioning, working with the mind and the body. Yes, it is possible. I realised a lot was missing in the Western world when it comes to pain management. Often you see a patient, you build a relationship up with them, and then they're sent on for a surgery or a consultant or the next physio because you've now left. So there's never enough consistency to actually build the results we want for successfully treating pain. Especially also with waiting time. So patients are often seen far later than they should have been, and then the problem is so much more worse. They've avoided movement for even longer, their joints have become more stiff, their muscles have become more weak, and subsequently all of this contributes to a higher pain level. So when I moved to Australia, I continued to treat musculoskeletal and continued to enjoy educating around pain and encouraging movement and providing the right movement choices and a lot of psychology behind pain, what we think affects what we do. So trying to break down those thoughts. For example, someone may hurt their ankle, they're then fear avoidant, not wanting to weight bear on their ankle. That then changes their behavior, their walking changes, their calf muscles then get weak. And then it's a bigger picture. So actually trying to track it back to the psychology behind pain can be so valuable. Found is in Australia and all over the world, again, that framework for managing pain in the musculoskeletal private practice isn't supported as best as it could be. Travelled to Australia and discovered physiotherapy in Australia. That brought me into the world of yoga. Now, I have touched on yoga and I've done yoga here and there. Understanding yoga, yeah, it's for stretching, it's for getting flexible, it's for getting mobile. But essentially, when I came to Australia, I realised, why am I not working to preserve my own movement? What exercise and practice can I do so I'll have no issues when I'm older? Basically then fell in love with movement and mobility and how can we use our bodies to our maximum potential. So what is happening in our modern world that's stopping our bodies being able to do this? I then developed the passion of how can I help others maintain their movement or improve their movement and increase their movement potential so that they're not just building strength and mobility, they're actually changing what they thought was possible in their day-to-day function. Going back to yoga, I discovered that essentially the framework of yoga and the historic teachings of yoga, there are so many crossovers with managing complex pain. Essentially, if you follow a yoga framework and work on your mind and body and connect with your soul, you're going to bring the best outcomes for managing things like pain. A lot of the things that influence our pain can be improved with yoga. So it's recognized. Yoga helps you sleep. Yoga helps you relax. It helps increase your activity levels. Yoga improves your spinal mobility. All those things contribute to your pain presentation and your nervous system health. So I've now created a service whereby I offer yoga alongside my physio teachings to give this combined package that I'm respecting the Western world and all the modern medical teachings in that domain, but also respecting the historic teachings of yoga to provide a combined package. A lot of the poses that are in yoga are the same poses that we offer for chronic back pain. But also what's really nice about yoga is you can complete a sequence and tick it all off in one go. So rather than just doing physio exercises of lift this leg in the sky, now lift your bottom up, knee rock side to side, that can be quite hard to get patients to comply to and stick it out long enough to actually see results. Whereas my approach is, if I now provide this yoga sequence that ticks it all off in one go, that gets them mobility, strength, flexibility, and a calm state of mind, I get much better results. What I found is my patients wanted to do yoga, but they didn't feel it was a place for them. So everyone that does yoga is already fit and healthy, they're not really suffering from pain. So I spent time educating that you can create yoga for everyone, of course, and yoga for pain specifically, that actually the people in pain are those that need it the most. What's been really nice has been providing private one-to-one yoga for my pain patients, because that way they feel that it's private, they can slowly build up to it, they can take their time, they can pace themselves, and they're not in front of others that are potentially fitter than them. We created a yoga program that was specific to their needs. So if they're presenting with back stiffness and a bit of maybe sciatica, we created yoga sequences that was right for them that targeted both. Also meant that they weren't going to yoga classes and pushing themselves too much that they might not be ready for. The yoga had been designed in a way that was so clinically specific based off diagnostic physiotherapy assessment. That also means that the inflammation management for pain was a lot more controlled. I could keep a closer eye on my patient and make sure that they're not doing too much movement that they then resent movement. There are a lot of tools and strategies that we can use to foster a growth mindset and really start to make changes to our health and well-being. Also, lots of tools out there that can really develop a calmer nervous system that brings optimal results for pain. When working with me, I really like to go through a holistic approach. So I want to make sure that you've got a movement practice that's not going to flare up your pain, and it's going to make healthy changes, whether that's increase your movement potential, reduce stiffness, and then also developing a good meditation practice. So different meditation works for different people, especially in this modern world. It's quite hard to just find pure focus and silence, but with practice, these things do get better. But I don't want you ruling it out entirely, because meditation is a really good tool for pain management. My patients also develop an activity schedule for a way to increase their activity levels. So this might be finding something that they can do each week and slowly build up gradually. It might be setting them on a walking program, and for the first few weeks we just focus on doing 10 minutes a day, because that might be enough for their current pain levels. It's all about starting small and gradually building up. We also then assess their sleep. So if their sleep is really disrupted or restless, or they take ages to get to sleep, we look at why. I don't want to be that health worker that just goes, okay, so you have a bad sleep. Tick to say that I've asked that question. Let's find out why your sleep is affected. Sleep is really complex yet again. So we need to look at, is it the activity levels in the day that are affecting it? Is it caffeine, your routine? It's something that shouldn't be ignored, because it does play an important part in our health, well-being, nervous system, and subsequent pain. And then it's about also developing a yoga practice. Now, yoga is an umbrella term, so this is anything to consider mind, body, soul. Time for yourself to work on those three elements. Might be doing a asana practice that works on the specific need of your own, so that might be reducing your back stiffness or developing your ankle stability, or it might be your time to then go through a meditation practice or some breath work. But it's all about providing that combined package for a pain management plan. So it's holistic. We're not just giving you physio exercise, we're giving you an overall approach that works on your sleep, your stress, your breathing, your meditation, your activity levels, and your yoga physical practice too, so your asana. It's important to tick all boxes. If we've got 10 things contributing to our pain and we improve each one by 10%, we've then got 100% improvement. Not about just picking one approach and hoping it gets you where you want it to be. It's not about going to massage once a week or the chiro twice a month. It's about finding a long-term strategy that keeps you away from paying those bills so you can manage it independently. Other things about me is, so I now live in Australia, absolutely loving living in Australia. Currently live in Perth. Love being on the beachfront. It's really changed the game for me of how I view life, what I want out of life, and absolutely loving it. And I also love my handstands. So yeah, love giving tips and tricks and privates on building your handstand ability. So that's working on your strength, your balance, core. I fell in love with handstands because it essentially forces me to slow down. It forces me to meditate, because I can't hold a handstand unless I'm focused. It's funny that when I first started handstands, I would be coming out the class so much calmer, so much slower. And I was like, what is this? What's happened to me? To the point that I'd also get into that frame of mind before I started doing handstands. It was almost like, if I want to do well, my mind needs to calm down. I need to develop focus, need to develop inner peace. And it worked. And then essentially I've got so attached to that practice that I haven't found anything that really works. Apart from surfing, I think surfing does it a little bit too in how it challenges your mindset, but handstands I find really does challenge your mindset and works to connect your mind and body so well. Working on your strength, and then you're developing a skill at the same time. I've done gym training for years, enjoyed it, dumbbells, whatnot, shoulder press. Basically wanted to change my target, that if I'm going to build this strength, I may as well do something with it. Wouldn't it be cool if I could hold a handstand? Combined with falling in love with mobility and movement and moving to our best capability as we get older, go against the signs of internal aging, it's a win-win. Handstands is great because it forces us to train essentially what we don't necessarily train. So for example, hip flexors, they're really important to strengthen up from all the time we spend sitting. Develop a handstand practice and you'll get strong hip flexors. Same with core. Like, I never trained core. I hated doing sit-ups. It's the most boring thing in the world. But as soon as I wanted to hold a handstand, that forced me to develop core. And more importantly as well, it's there's a lot of drills in handstands that works your trans abs. So it's that deeper ab layer that's so important for spinal stability. And I was like, again, this is a win-win for healthy aging and training things that you don't necessarily want to train. But if there's a positive outcome and you can handstand from it, then great, motivation. Handstands, again, it forces me to correct and overcome my posture. I can't hold a good handstand if I'm slouched, curled up. It's just not going to work. So doing so much mobility work to improve my posture, which again is so helpful for healthy aging and in the long run, to be fit for life. We want to be doing all the things we want to be doing when we're 70 years old. We don't want to be limited by our movement. So it's about developing that practice that ages you well for life. And yeah, handstands forces you to train that posture, just alike to other elements of yoga. There's so much in yoga that is designed to essentially help you age well, so you can keep living your life to a good standard, to a good quality. And it's my biggest pet peeve when I hear people saying, oh, I'm just getting older, oh, it's just because I'm old, oh, it's because I'm 50 next week, or oh, this is just part of aging. No. You age when you choose to age. There are many people that I know, and very healthy, happy people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, hundreds, that are really fit and physical. Yes, they've got things going against them. Yes, they've got arthritis. Yes, they're a bit stiff or whatever. But they've got a practice that's keeping them fit and healthy to live the life that they want to live. So as soon as you start saying, oh, it's because I'm old, that's why I've got hip pain. No, you're letting that hip pain win. You've got to develop a practice that overcomes that hip pain. Essentially, when we start to get those pain signals and those stiffness signals, it's essentially your warning to start doing something about it. Now, you can either choose to let that pain win and go, okay, well, I've now got back pain, or I've now got hip pain because I'm getting older. But really, it's actually time to get moving again. Our joints get stiffer as they get older. We develop arthritis as we get older. These are all natural, normal, healthy parts of aging, but they don't necessarily need to correlate to being in pain, having your life taken off you. People that are riddled with arthritis on a scan, but they haven't got any physical symptoms of that. They move really well. Their pain is well controlled. And stiffness, they might get a bit in the morning, but then they're good to go. Or nothing at all. Movement is medicine, and there's always something you can be doing to make your presentation that bit better. I don't want to adopt a defeatist mindset such as, I'm just getting old. I really love challenging my clients' mindsets of, why do we think like that? Where's that stem from? Why are we putting those limiting beliefs in ourselves? Really trying to challenge those beliefs and work through them, make a healthy mindset, then foster a healthy mind and body relationship that you can then get the best from your mind and body. Thinking better about things, putting yourself out there more, challenging yourself, taking up handstands at 60 years old. I know people that have done it, and it all comes from that strong mindset. I also had a patient that's done nothing all his life, never been fit and healthy. 70 years old, he decided to take up calisthenics. He's doing pull-ups, he's doing leg raises with ankle weights, he's really fit and well, and he's only been doing calisthenics for 5 years, but he started at 70 years old. Thing is possible with the right mindset. Yeah, so in short about me, love mindset, love psychology, love the psychology of pain, love combining it all and developing a mind, body, soul practice, hence yoga. And if you can create a new movement potential that unlocks more for you, even better. So that's starting out handstands, doing flips, developing into the split, using to take our body to its full limit and really see how far can we push the human body to adapt, grow, get stronger, get more mobile. So these videos on my YouTube are going to be all things related to pain, pain education, pain science, getting rid of the wrong beliefs around pain, looking at growth mindset, self-development, handstands, of course, and yoga practices that you can do to improve your mindset, your movement, your mind, and essentially create a healthier, happier outlook to life. I want you to remove the limits that you tell yourself of, I can only walk that distance, I can only touch to my knees and not my toes. So stay tuned, follow the videos, enjoy the videos, like, subscribe, and get in touch for any questions, queries, if you'd like to join in and work with me and have your own personalized yoga sequence or your own personalized pain management plan to start seeing the results that you want and living a life you want to live that's free, that's not controlled by pain, stiffness, or excuses that you're getting older and getting weaker. That can stop today, and you can start falling in love with your body and all the things that it's actually capable of doing.